Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back today. Let me welcome everybody. And today, as you all know, I am interviewing the lovely Alyssa from Littlejohn's Yarn. I don't know why I always want to say something else, but it is. It's Littlejohn's Yarn. So, hi, Poppy. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Ursula. Hello, Amy, Lashira. Tank, welcome in. Hi, Dorothy, Roberta. Hi, everybody. So as you all know, with the format, you've been coming for a while now. As you know, I welcome everybody in. And then once I bring up my guest, I concentrate on my guest. So anybody who comes in, welcome and thank you. And thank you, everybody, as well, for watching the replay. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome to Victor, D, Kivia. Thank you so much for joining us. And I only think I'm going to say, you know what I'm going to say? Don't forget my little thummies. Thummies are really, really important, guys. Oh, you didn't miss it. Great, D. That's lovely. Hi, Victor. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to bring up the lovely Alyssa and let's get this interview on the road, shall we? Hi, Trudy. Hello, Alyssa. Welcome in. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. Yourself, and thank you for inviting me on your YouTube channel. Feel special.
You're welcome. You're welcome. First off, I just want to ask you if you would just give us a little bit of where you started with your crochet journey.
Okay, I got you. Well, just in case you don't know who I am, I'm Alicia Littlejohn of Littlejohn Yarns. I have my own YouTube channel. It's all about crochet. When I was talking to the wonderful Linda, she's what you call yourself, multi-stitchual, can knit and crochet. I'm a one-trick pony. All I do is crochet. That's all I know, and I'm stretching that until I croak. But I guess to tell you a little bit how I started crochet, would we just hop right into that?
Yeah.
I started crocheting when I was 7 years old. My grandmother taught me. Fast forward years, you know how we always crochet, and you're sitting in front of people, and people are like, "Oh, you should sell that." So I started selling my custom items to people around locally, then on Facebook and Etsy, then locally, not locally, but within the United States, just selling there, but didn't make enough money. I'm like, it's good side money. And that's when I'm like, how else can I make money with crochet? That's when I hopped into YouTube and blogging and selling patterns. And here I am today with Linda. Here I am.
You're here. I've arrived. Okay, I've only got 5 questions for you and that. So what was the deciding factor for you to start your channel? As you've said, I think it was to sell. And
Yeah, my what really hit me, like I said, I was selling my custom items to everybody. Even I was probably selling things entirely too low. Even if I sold a hat for like let's $25 and I sold one hat every single day, it would still only be like $9,000. I can't quit my job for 9,000. That's what I'm like, let's get into YouTube. I'm like, maybe I'll just do a little stitch tutorial. And eventually I start doing research. I'm like, this could be a profitable income. I started getting views and I did a little bit more research. I started with affiliate marketing and blogging. Then I thought, know what? I need to quit my day job. It was amazing to find out you can milk money from online. It's like I was pulling money out of nowhere. It became like a game to me, if it made sense.
yeah.
And I just couldn't stop. And it became my goal. And eventually, about 2 years ago, I quit my full-time job. I was a personal care aide. I quit that and started doing this completely full-time. But I started my crochet business back in 2015, but my YouTube in 2017.
Oh, brilliant. So you know you're fairly a young channel then.
You think so?
Yeah. So, what was the first thing that you made, and do you still have it? What was the first thing you ever made?
Oh, the first thing ever made, I believe I was in the well, I wouldn't say it's the first thing I ever made because my grandmother, she teaches you, you always learn swatches, the granny square. You make a big old circle or granny square type thing, round after round. But my very first design, I think I was in second grade. I made my father a watch cover. Why your watch needs covered, I don't know. But all it was two rows of double crochet in the round. But yeah, it was in the round because you put a space and a little open space just so the head of his watch would fit through. And I was just so proud. I'm like, Daddy, I made you a watch cover. And he said, thank you, and never wore it. But I was proud of it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And what is your favorite crochet? What item is your favorite to crochet?
I love slippers. If anybody ever went to my YouTube channel, you'll see I have a gazillion slippers. I love hats because sometimes you just have bad hair days. But if you wear a crochet hat, no matter where you go, somebody's going to comment on your crochet hat. And that's another trick. If you're selling your crochet, wear it.
Yeah.
Everybody loves like, where did you get that? Got it from me. I did it.
Yeah, that's a good. And they always say if you are selling your crochet items, then wear them. If they're wearables, wear them. And yeah, it's a good idea. And the compliments you get of whether it's a poncho or a shawl or a hat or a
Hmm.
scarf, even that's the best kind of advertising you could do.
Yeah. Oh, I should probably tell you the reason why I love to make slippers so much. Originally, I used to hate crocheting any type of things that belong in pairs because I was never able to match the sizes. But now you crochet long enough, if you do two slippers in a day, they're probably more likely to be the same size than if you do two slippers 1 week apart. You might be happy one day, your tension is loose. You might be stressed because, I don't know, you burnt the food or something, your kids aren't listening, and your tension is tight. So I usually do them all the same day. But as a YouTuber, it helps me not have to create a pattern too many times.
Yeah.
The first one, slipper I create, is my rough draft. I'm like, okay, I like this. Then I write up the pattern, then I send it out to my editor and pattern testers. And then the second slipper, that's the one I film on YouTube. So I don't have to be making all these extra patterns like two purses, two tops. I'm like, slippers. It comes in two. I'm happy.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I just want to Ursula Granny Square. She says, "Do your children crochet?" No.
Oh, I'm not going to call my babies letdowns because they have their own talents. My daughter, I wanted her to crochet so bad when she was a little girl. I'm like, I'm just going to do exactly what my grandmother did. I'm going to sit her next to me. We're going to learn how to finger crochet, like chaining with your fingers. She got the hang of that and she was chaining for days. She had yarn chains all the way across her room. I'm like, okay, let's get the crochet hook. And she was loving it. I'm like, okay, let's do single crochets. And she was done. She was like, nope, nope. My son, I have the Addy knitting machine. That's easy. He loves
Frankie, no. Yeah.
everybody loves he loves the knitting machine. But other than that, no. I'm hoping, knock on wood, because my kids are entirely too young. When I do become a grandmother, my grandchild, I could pass it on, but no time soon.
No, 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 no,
No.
damn soon. And they want to know as well, do you still sell your crochet makes?
N- Um, when I first transitioned, when I was still making custom orders and being was on YouTube, some people can I wasn't able to manage both. I had my
Yeah,
own selling group on Facebook. It was going great, and I had my YouTube, but my YouTube fans were hopping into my selling groups, and then they would start selling on my page, and it just got too much, and I just eventually let it go. What I wish I did, but now it's kind of late, and I would have to start from scratch. I wish I would have got some crocheters that I trusted to continue in the group, you know what I mean? So I would be able to help them get, not contract, but what's it called? Get the mark,
Yeah.
and maybe I take a 10% cut. But I wish I would have did that instead of just letting it completely go.
Yeah. Yeah. And hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yeah. But as a crocheter, people think, oh, you're running around just crocheting all day. To make money, we're not there, we're wearing every single hat. We're learning how to web design. We're learning how to market. We're learning how to edit videos. There's a lot of hats, so I had to put custom orders to the side because I just couldn't juggle it all.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, I think we all know our limitations, really. And you've got
Yeah.
to sit back and think, right? Can I continue with this? Will this give me as much as this? No, it won't. Well, this is what I'm going with, and you've just got to weigh all the pros and cons up in the end.
Mhm.
So, what is your favorite yarn and weight of yarn?
Favorite yarn is Mighty Stitch Bulky. Oh, here we go. Mighty Stitch Bulky yarn. It's not a fancy yarn. It's like a $4 yarn, $3.99 yarn. My
Yeah,
DSLR is not working, so this is my webcam. It has like a luster to it, almost
yeah, you can see it. It's like a shine.
Like a Curon Simply Soft, but without the splits and not being as thin. It's
Yeah,
fluffy and it's just so smooth. I love these for hats because sometimes the more rough yarn, I don't like the way it feels on my hair and
yeah.
this or against my skin. I don't know. I just love this. And worsted weight yarn because I like quick projects. But
I'm a finger weight girl. I love finger weights.
when I think of people who do finger weights, I think of like you're a real like artist crocheter. When I think of worsted weight yarn, I just think of, casual hobbyists. But when you start dropping weight like DK, I'm like, okay. Oh, finger? Oh, you're a professional. You really do this. I'm like shocked. I'm like, ooh.
Ooh.
I remember watching something somewhere. It was like one of I was on my daughter's TikTok. She was showing me something. And a TikTok was, what is a flex? What is really cool in your niche that's not cool that wouldn't be cool to anybody else? What I think is cool, if I see somebody crochet with finger weight yarn, I'm like, oh, you're showing off.
I'm
I
showing off
see you.
then.
You are.
Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. So the next question is, since you started your channel, what changes have you seen in the fiber community, if any?
I have. In just like the short since 2017, that actually, I'll go before I even started my channel. Just the whole fiber community is so much more diverse. It's younger. It's more inclusive. I went to what is it called? The Crochet Guild of America. They had like a chain lynch conference in the United States, Louisiana. When I went there, out in the back of my head, I'm going to this crochet conference. It's going to be a whole bunch of boring ladies just sitting there crocheting. When I walked into the building, there were so many different women. It was just like a tug on my heart. I was seeing these young 20-year-olds with like blue hair, and I was seeing like 80-year-olds with blue hair. It was like amazing. I'm like, I love this. So
Yeah,
that's the changes that I've seen so far. Inclusivity.
yeah. And especially, I love to see the males
Yes.
in the community. Some of them are just mind blowing. Their talent is mind blowing.
Hmm.
And even in the short space of time I've been in a fiber community, I think it's very, very inclusive, which is nice to see. We can all crochet. We
Yeah.
can. It doesn't matter whether you're 7 years of age or 70 years of age. we're all kind of joined together by this love of
Yarn.
fiber and yarn. Yeah, definitely yarn. Yeah. And I'm just so love this community. The next question I have is, did during lockdown, did you see any changes in your channel? Did it affect your channel in any way?
I think my channel grew. I mean, I wouldn't say it grew like a whole bunch, but I think with people like, what am I going to do now? I have no friends. I need a hobby. I feel like people started to pick up crochet more. I do think during this lockdown, younger uh YouTube tubers started being what do we call it? Crochet influencers. Okay, that's what we
Yeah,
are, crochet influencer. I noticed more younger crochet influencers starting. I'm like, oh wow, you guys are really starting to pick up this habit. I called myself I don't consider myself an OG crocheter. Like you said, I started in 2017, but in the YouTube years, 6 years on YouTube is a lifetime.
yeah,
Like the first generation of this true crochet influencer, I believe started like around late 2009s, 2000, early 2010s. I hopped in on that second half. So I feel like I'm on that second wave. I'm riding off the back of you who started 10 years ago and everybody who put it in the works. If it wasn't for everybody else saying, hey, put a free pattern on your blog, I would never know to do that. Like there was no roadmap. I literally went back to all the people who started in 2010, studied their website, studied their YouTube, and wrote myself out a plan and said, this is what I'm gonna do. And in 5 years, I plan on quitting.
yeah,
And it worked out. So yeah, 2020, I quit.
yeah. Good for you. And it's nice to hear that it kind of it worked for you, and you have to put the work in. It and that's what I tell all new YouTubers. You have to put the work in. It is hard work,
Uh-huh.
and if you want to get something, you have to put something in to get something out of it.
I remember my husband had said something to me. It was in the beginning of YouTube. I wasn't making any money. I didn't hit that monetization market. I was trying to put out videos. He's like, "You're not making any money. You can stop. You don't need to do this you're stressing yourself out." I'm not saying stress yourself out, but if I would have listened to him when he says, "You're not making any money on YouTube. Just give it up." I would not be on your channel today.
No, very true. And I think it's inside as well. Yeah,
I know he's just trying to help at the time.
I never discount a woman's intuition is spot on. Is spot on. You go with your intuition. I've always gone with my gut feeling, and if my gut says yeah, go for
Yeah.
it, I do it. If I kind of know, no, step back, Linda, it's not for you. And I do, and I really do believe that a woman's intuition is 99.9% spot on. I really do believe that. And kind of, and like for you, it was spot on for you, it worked for you.
So
And
glad it did.
yeah, I mean, you've got to be in it to win it.
I remember whose
Really.
channel was I looking at? It was like YouTube specifically. I think it was Jada in Stitches. I remember looking at her YouTube channel, then going to I forget the website where you can see how many views people get. I don't know. Social Blade? No, that wasn't it. But it's some other website. And I'm like, okay, I seen she had started in 2012 and I seen she had so many subscribers. That's where my 5 year mark came. I'm
Yeah.
like, she did well in 5 years. I'm like, that's good. I can get a real job and they still won't promote me in 5 years. So I'm like, I'm going to stick to this and see what happens in 5 years.
Yeah. Good for you. Good for you. And there are a couple of Ursula, she said, do you find that being a YouTuber takes up more time than a day job, like it flows into your weekends? Yes, would be my answer.
No, yes, but at the same time, there's benefits of it. Let's
Yeah,
say, because I was talking to Linda, I was having a bad kind of past 3 months. I won't get into details, but because of YouTube, because I worked so hard Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week for years, I haven't worked that much the past 3 months because of my passive income, because I put so much work in it from 2015 till up until 3 months ago. I've taken almost a 3 months break putting up a video here, and my income hasn't dropped. But I know everybody knows you can't do that forever, but I'm
no,
appreciative of that.
definitely. And guys, I know you've asked questions in the chat, but I just got one more question to ask Alicia, and then we'll go to the chat. But welcome into everybody. Thank you for joining us. I really do appreciate you taking the time to spend some time with me today.
But I didn't answer. Is it more than a real job? It's still more work than a real job, minus this past 3 months. But I take breaks. Let's say I am mad at my laptop. I will close it for 30 minutes, but then I find myself up at 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm doing more than 8 hours probably.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Me too. Me too. So my last question is, what advice would you give your younger self when starting a channel?
You cannot learn everything all at once. I just wanted to wake up and be Nastasia. I wanted to wake up and be the crochet crowd, not thinking they worked really, really hard. And sometimes, even when you think you work hard at something, doesn't mean it's going to work out. How can I put this without just because you love this project that you created doesn't mean Linda's going to love the project. I have to research about Linda, see exactly what Linda likes. Even though I might not like this project, but since Linda is my target audience, I learned how focus on your audience. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's not
Yes.
about you, it's about your audience. Whew, I couldn't get it out.
Sometimes it's there and it just won't come out. And I know, yeah.
I feel myself circling.
Yeah, exactly. And I do believe that kind of it's kind of, you've got to learn to crawl, then walk before you can run.
Yeah,
And it takes time and effort and the support of, and I always think, you support your friends in the community, they will support you too. It's
I would
all
also
about,
give that girl a hug. I would give her a hug and say, calm down. It's
yeah.
okay. It's okay. The sun is going to shine. It's just yarn. It's life. It's okay.
Yeah. And and at the end of the day, if it I kind of, when I start a project and I think, right, okay, the yarn wants to be this, let's do it. And I'd start it, I'd frog it. And then I frog it again. And I think, no. And the yarn's looking at me, no, I don't want to be this project. I don't like this project. So I put it away. And I give a project twice. If I've frogged it twice, then it's gone.
Yeah. Frog. Have you ever in the middle of crochet and frog something so many times and you're still on row 2 and you think to yourself, I could have had a king size blanket. How many rows I've done and undone? I'm like, oh, I keep doing the same wrinkled up yarn over and over again. I'm like,
Yeah.
Makes me so
And
mad.
you've just got to give yourself permission to think, it's not working today. Frog it, get up, walk out, go and have a coffee or a cup of tea or whatever your beverage is, and come back and start again. Or put the, lovingly put the yarn away and just look and think, what can I do now? Or let's just have a look on Ravelry at patterns, or and then get lost for 2 hours and think, wow, where's that time gone?
Can I say hi to people? I want to say hi to Soraya and Sabrina Aguilera. I always remember them from my live streams, and I haven't done any. And if you guys come back, I'm going to start doing it starting again in October. I want to be better and do weekly ones again.
Yes. Yeah. Amen to that. YouTubers are all about united. Exactly, Victor. Very, very much so. Hi, Samantha. Welcome in. Hi, everybody. So the rewards are great long term. Yes, I would say so. If you're
Was
willing
that
to
the
put the
question?
work on. Sorry.
Was that a question? I'm sorry. I was dazed out for a second. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Ursula said, so the rewards are great long term, question mark.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's like pushing a rock uphill, but once you get there, you're like, ah. Well, actually, I'm lying. You never feel like you're there. I don't want to deceive you. No matter if you have one subscriber, when I started, I'm like, if I have 100 subscribers, I am going to be the happiest girl in the whole entire world. But it's not about the subscribers. Now I more or less focus on the income. That's those numbers, those views. I'm like, as long as I make this amount of money, I know my lifestyle is okay. And if I can't make it on YouTube, like right now, that might be doing a little bit lower. I'll make sure I'll put a sale in my Etsy shop. You know what I mean? I'll
Yeah.
make sure I'll put out more email newsletters to promote my blog. If I'm not making money one way and it's stressing me out, I'll focus it someplace else.
Yeah. And Amy says, what do you do with all the things you make for tutorials?
Give it away. And if it's hats, my family loves hats. My daughter loves hats. She's in college. Her friends love stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
slippers, but a lot of it I just keep in a bag just in case I want to make a video with it later. I'm like, huh, I'm just learning how to make Instagram reels and TikToks. It's hard. So I'm like, I should save these so I can make silly little videos with it randomly. So give it
I
away
am
or
not
silly
into
video.
TikTok and Instagram. I just think, oh,
It's
I just
guess it's
search for photographs. I've got too much. Sometimes I've just got too much going on. Let's see if there's any more. Has anybody else got any questions for Alicia? And thank you, Ursula, for dropping Alicia's link. Thank you so much. Can't do this. Too stubborn to not complete a project perfectly, no matter how many restarts. I'm smarter than the yarn, says Bonnie. Good for you, Bonnie.
better than us.
She's having a problem. What do you do when you lose your Crojo? Who do you get it back? Who do you get it back?
How do I get it back? What? Because right now I'm on a Crojo low right now. What I do is talk to other crocheters. One of my crochet BFF is Karen V. Miguel. She has her own YouTube channel too. Call her up on the phone and vent about something. But something when I talk to her, my crochet energy somehow comes back. It starts off with, girl,
Yeah.
you can't believe this. And by the end, we're like, okay, this is what we need to do on next Tuesday. We need to schedule this and put this out. She's like my lucky yarn. I don't know. But talking to somebody else helps me get my Crojo back. Because if I'm sitting here turning around looking at this or looking at Pinterest, I just get upset and mad and hop on Facebook and scroll and forget about yarn.
Pinterest's another one for me. If mind you, touch wood, I've only at once lost my mojo, and I just went on Pinterest and lost myself on Pinterest for about 3 hours.
Uh-huh.
It was back then. I was up here looking for yarn. What have I got? What have I got? So yeah, that's a good and I think sometimes just conversing with the other like-minded people in the community, or I usually just go, watch. I'll type in, for example, just off the top of my head, I'll say tutorial for hats.
Yeah.
And then I'll just go and watch and see what other
See, I do the same thing. And sometimes, like right now, since I know I'm a little bit out of my Crojo, I'll do a non-crochet pattern related. Right now, I'm filming videos, crochet and TV and movies.
Yeah.
For the past 6 months, if I'm watching a movie or watching TV and I see crochet in it, I'll open up my Word doc and put down the episode and the time and timestamps. So now I have at least 8 TV shows over the past 6 months that I've randomly seen crochet in. So now I'm going back and filming all those little sections where I got the timestamps. So I'm like, that's an easy video. I don't have to get an editor. I don't have to think of a pattern. I have to record my TV and say, 7 items crocheted on TV and movies. So that's a nice break for me too.
Yeah, and a lot of us love Pinterest as well. Tats at Water. Can you see her question?
Yeah, she says, I would like to ask Alicia if she knows about all the ways African American crocheters can reach the community. Whoop is scrolled. I think crochet would be a good avenue to reach troubled youth in the ghetto. Lack of better words, urban communities. But you'll be shocked how many urban crocheters there are. I am in several urban crochet groups. You will get the most beautiful head to toe outfits.
Oh, I know.
The skill level is beyond. I make hats, I make gloves. They make full outfits that you would see on like a celebrity. Like amazing. It's called, I think, urban crochet, just gorgeous.
Yeah.
But I think in many places it needs to just spread everywhere. Outside of YouTube, who how many places teach crochet? I mean, I'll see groups in like churches and whatnot, but there's no outreach to anybody. You
Yeah.
have to know somebody who knows about this group, and you already know how to crochet if you found it.
Definitely, definitely. And Amy says, who was your biggest inspiration, or who made the difference to you when you were learning to crochet?
Well, when I was learning to crochet, my grandmother, she's the only person that put the crochet hook in my hand. I'm like, so nobody else taught me any skills. But when I started to my first, what would I call it, fangirl moment with a crocheter, crochet influencer, the person I was like, oh my God. And I was in love with Jada and Stitches, Tony from TL Yarn Craft. I'm like, when I talked to them, I was like, oh my God, I'm talking to Jada and Stitches. I'm talking to Tony from, I was just
I know.
fangirling. I'm like, yeah, so those, I wouldn't say they made a difference. They were inspiration. They
Yeah.
were goals.
Well, I was in one of our fellow David and a fellow YouTuber. I was on his
There it is.
panel in the live, and Craig Fiber Spider was on the panel, and I was seriously fangirling. I was like, oh my gosh, Linda, for goodness sake, grow up.
I felt like when I went to the craft yarn conference, we just called it crochet conference. When I went to that, I've never been recognized. I've gone to my yarn aisle in my local store and stood there and like maybe somebody will recognize me. Nobody ever recognized me. I was recognized for the first time. I was like a little kid. I'm like, can I have your autograph for recognizing me? I took a picture with somebody with my camera because they recognized me. I'm like, we need a picture. Yeah, that's how happy I was.
I know. It's amazing, isn't it? So has anybody else got any questions, or have you got anything you would like? I pretend to be once, and you idiot. Oh my Lord. We've got trolls in the thank you, Ursula. We've got trolls. Do you know, I did my live today and I didn't have one troll. As soon as my interviews comes on, they all come out the woodwork. Honest, they're idiots, absolute idiots. But again, at the end of the day, these idiots are giving me views so they can do idiot.
Thank you. Oh yeah. Oh, Crystal. This scrolled on me. I don't know where it went, but somebody mentioned Crystal. Crystal was another favorite one of mine. She was like the YouTube OG, like bag a day crochet. I'm like,
Wow.
and the amount of content she puts out, I don't know how she does it. I'm amazed by it. I need to just put out, I don't know, more. I need more energy.
Yeah, I know. She's amazing. I mean, considering she's a family, she's got a family and she puts,
Yeah.
yeah, trolls have to leave a thumbs up. Yes, they do, Christy. Nice one. I don't care. I've always said whether they give me a thumbs down or a thumbs up, don't care. We can embarrass you more. Oh, yeah, you can. That's fine.
Somebody has a question. Samantha Stewart says, how long have you been crocheting for, Alicia? I've been crocheting since I was 7, and my birthday is next month. I'll be 42. So I can't subtract well. So you can do the rest for me. That's how long I've been crocheting.
35 years.
For 35 years.
Yeah. Well, I've got a good 20 years on you.
I don't think, but I truly haven't. I think I truly got skills until the last 2030 or late 20s, because I didn't know how to read a pattern. Always tried to remember the stitch that my grandma taught me, and I would just make hats. I knew how to make hats, and I would make nothing else. And I didn't do any special. In the live stream, my mother. I'm sorry, I had to hang up on my mother. Live stream. What was I getting at? But once I hit 30 and started crocheting more and custom orders, that's what made my skills go up. Did you sell your own crochet?
Yes, I do.
Okay. With custom orders, doing all those patterns naturally get stuck in your head. So you know how many stitches make a curve. You know how many this make an increase. You know the numbers for math to make it a certain size. I didn't realize what custom orders was like going through college, and all this knowledge was just being jam
I
packed in
know
my head.
maths, and I hated maths, but you use it on a day-to-day basis when you're crocheting, because you need to know the correct amount of stitches for such and such a pattern to do such and such rows, and then you've got to increase, and how many do you increase, and that. So
I remember because sometimes on a video or on a pattern I have, somebody say, how do you make this for a small? And it will be an adult slipper. I'm like, it's a whole new pattern. But they're like, there's no way you can help me. I'm like, I could help you, but you have to know crochet math. I'm like, if this is a size 5 and it's in multiples of each rows by 4, I'm like, I can't explain it. I have to write a whole new pattern. So I'm sorry, I can't. But
yeah,
I don't know how that, but yeah, that's it.
I know. And hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Myself, I've been knitting since I was 8 years old and crocheting 7 years now, started at 30. So it's never too late to learn. No, that's very, very true, Victor. Very true. My dad taught me how to knit when I was 5.
Was he in the military?
Yes.
Navy?
Royal Marines.
Okay, Marines, got it.
Yeah. But his mum taught him how to knit.
Well, I heard a lot of men in the military learned how to knit.
Yeah.
Too. But his mom taught him.
Yeah, his mum taught him how to knit. And it's funny, really, because my nan taught me dad how to knit socks. That's how we learned to knit. And it was only last year that I learned to knit socks. I knit everything else under the sun but socks, and now I'm hooked on them. That's a good one. What got you into YouTube tutorials?
YouTube tutorials? When I was doing custom orders, I was trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yes.
If I was going to do a custom order, I'm like, I might as well do a tutorial and film it at the same time.
Yeah.
So I was doing that. Still came too much, but that's what got me into it, and just wanting to make more money, because crocheting alone, I just wasn't making enough. So that's what led to making tutorials.
Yeah, and Ursula said, did you like maths in school? No.
No, I math still frustrates me. Even with crochet math, it's not complicated math. It's like, let's say a large has to be 2 stitches more than a medium. But when you start on row 3 and you're in 43 row, it gets confusing at times. But
Yeah,
crochet math is not algebra, it's not trigonometry.
no.
It's a little bit lighter, but it can be annoying.
Yeah, because she says the math teacher used to tell them to like maths because we will use it every day of our lives, and it's very, very true. You use maths
But they also
every single
said,
day.
but your teacher also said you're not going to be walking around with a calculator in your pocket every day either. Yes, I am. I walk around with a calculator in my pocket because smartphones wasn't invented then. So yes, we all have our own dictionary, encyclopedia, and spell check and calculator in our pocket. Thank you,
Exactly.
phone.
Oh, Christy's got a good one. She says, how do you price your items? Do you have a formula?
Like I said, I haven't sold in over 4 or 5 years. But when I did, I usually base some of my stuff off of Etsy. Let's say I would go on Etsy and see how much blankets were going for. I would use that as a base and go around that. But there's many formulas where you can take yarn times 3 plus how many hours you work. It all
And
that's like such a touchy topic.
it is. And at the end of the day, you'll never, ever recoup the time that you put into a crocheted item.
And I never appreciate. I'm not There are people out there that can appreciate your work. You just have to work hard and market yourself to find that customer. But the majority of customers in the world are the Walmart shoppers that are like, how dare you charge $100 for a blanket? Like, do you know I made each and every one of these stitches, and a stitch is this big? It should cost $1,000.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I think it, kind of when you're gifting um crochet items, you gift them to people that you know will appreciate them.
Uh-huh. Always. I've seen some of my crochet items in dog beds. I've seen them like tossed in the back of somebody's car. Just I'm like, I I'm showing my love to you, and it's a chew toy. I guess
Yeah,
yeah.
you
Hmm.
can get, yeah. I mean, I very, very rarely I know who to gift my knitted and crochet
Mhm.
items to, and you just have to, don't you, really? And that, and but the people who have, I mean, I've just finished a sweater order for a friend, and I know she'll like it. And with the yarn that was left, I crocheted her a hat and a cowl just to get rid of the
Yeah.
yarn. Well, no, I did it because I knew she would wear them and their colours will suit her complexion and her hair and whatever. So, yeah.
How about the people that, oh, before I comment, hi Sarai, I don't think she seen me last time. She ran away. Hi Sarai, DIY Creations. But see, I threw myself off. Just to say hi to her, I forget what I was going to say now. You're talking about making something for somebody else. Oh, what I love when people ask you to make them something as if it's a favor to you.
Yes, they're
Like
asking
I'm
you.
doing you a favor. You make me something. That's that's not how it works.
No. Crochet. Yes, look at that. Jeanette, DIY Creation says, you're so correct. Prada sold a crochet bucket hat for $895. I'm
And
like,
that's crochet the same one. And they're like, I don't want to pay you more than $25.
I know.
No. They need to it I don't blame the world for not accepting crochet. I say this over and over. It's because crochet and knit, it always came from a place of love. family members, you remember growing up, did your family members just not give away crochet? It was
Yeah.
they never sold it. So there's never been a price on crochet until now. And now the world is shocked. Like, oh, my grandma did that for free. Like,
Well,
no,
get
this works.
your grandma to do it again for you then.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly, Linda. I'd want to cry when somebody abuses my crochet items. It's sad when a homeless person appreciates a hat I made
Mhm.
more than somebody I related to. Yeah, and
Well,
kind
they
of,
donated.
I'm on I did a crochet hats. I crochet hats for the homeless here in the in my
Yeah.
hometown, and I've already done a load earlier in the year. So I've restarted again, traveling backwards and forwards to the hospital. That's what I'm doing in the car, crocheting hats or
Uh-huh.
knitting socks.
Uh-huh. With your
So
finger and weight yarn. Oh, oh man. Okay. Fancy.
fancy
Just fancy.
smancy. Yeah. Where I live, they don't want to give you any money. They want to have you give them. Yeah. And
Mhm.
it's when I give a person a price, I'm like, just
Cheat
I'm like,
myself.
did I just cheat myself? I'm like, did I just cheat myself out of, I mean, I've been very fortunate last year. A good friend of mine, I made a poncho and she saw the poncho and she wanted it for her mum and her sister and one for herself. And and
Oh, he
and
got him in a trunk someplace.
and I was very, very lucky that I made them. She paid for the yarn and then she paid me the money for doing them. So and a mum, and then a mum asked my friend to ask me to make her mum's sister one. So
Oh,
it was good.
and
I make
I was about to say, I've been where DIY Creations was, where she says, when I was doing custom orders, how about when you get an order that you've never had before and you have no clue how much time it takes and you misjudge and you're like, okay, this will be $85. This is what I'll charge. And you're halfway through crocheting and you realize this is a $300 project
yeah.
and you already gave them the price and you're like, I'm cheating myself. I
Yeah.
just, I hate that. I don't miss that about selling crochet, figuring out the price.
No, I know that, and they don't. Some people don't include. And Ursula, I've seen Ursula say, she said, Linda, and you did a crochet tutorial on your order. Yeah, the poncho that I made, I did a tutorial for it
Hmm?
and sold it.
Two birds, one stone.
Yeah, definitely. People do not understand how much the yarn is very expensive unless you only use old yarn junk.
Question for you. Okay, you live in the UK, correct?
Yeah,
It must be hard to do yarn in the United States. I can throw a rock at a big box yarn store. We got yarn just like flowing
yeah.
from every place. Is it difficult to it has to be more expensive to do custom orders?
It can be. I find we have what is called yarn hobbycraft, and they
Mhm.
have a small selection of yarn. We get you. Excuse me.
So bless you.
Excuse me.
Gesundheit. Gesundheit.
We have Karen yarn. We have certain US yarns come in, but
Mhm.
they're twice the amount that you pay.
Yeah,
So it can be, but I shop online for my yarn.
it's
And I've
probably
got a good
easier.
friend in the US who actually went to Hobby Lobby for me. She had me on her camera. We FaceTimed and she
You're like,
took
I
me
went back.
round Hobby Lobby and got me yarn in the sale.
See, that's a good friend. Is she your crochet best friend?
Oh yeah, just one of them,
Yeah.
and then she sent it to me. Obviously, I paid for postage, but
Mhm.
I got the money that I saved buying the yarn. I paid the
The
postage
shipping.
for, so it was kind of, but it still worked out cheaper for me to do it like that. And yeah, so I got some of the bougie yarn and whatever, and so yeah, and I'm very very fortunate that she did that for me. She took me shopping and said, "Do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this?" So it was good. But yeah, we do get you. We have here in the UK a place called we don't have the big box yarn stores
Mhm.
here. So Hobbycraft have started selling the US yarn, but I pay double to what you pay, and that's it's wrong, but what can we do?
I remember being the first time I was yarn culture shocked. I was doing a yarn review video, and I had bought some yarn off of what's that? Wish.com. And I received a small skein of yarn. Do I have a small skein? I don't know. But it was just a 50-gram skein. I've never seen a 50-gram skein. I'm like, what is this tiny tic tac of yarn? I'm like, what is this? What I'm used to. Where's my big US yarn that's as big as my head? I'm like, where? And I'm looking, I'm like, and then all the other people from outside of the United States are like, what are you talking about? That is a normal size skein of yarn. You monster Americans, why do you need this much? I'm like, just in case.
Yes, just in case.
Yeah.
We do get 50-gram skeins of yarn, but we also get 100 grams and that, and I can, for a 4-weight yarn, which we call Aran, I can get a 400 grams,
Okay. That's a good bit.
and that, but predominantly they are 100 grams, and I find the baby yarn is 50 grams.
Mhm.
The crazy poppy lady, she says, I'm thinking it's going to be cheaper for us in the UK to book a weekend trip to America. The flights may be cheaper than the postage. Just I know, Poppy, I know, I would agree with you. And people in Sweden and South Africa, yeah, I've ordered mostly from Hobby Yarn, but now I found UK indie dyers,
Mhm.
so I am spending my money on that. No more of this, this yarn, the
Yeah.
kind of, I want the bougie yarn like this,
Ooh, fancy.
the fancy smancy ones. Because I like to make wearables
Mhm.
and that. I've just finished 2 mosaic blankets.
Beautiful. Oh, I love that
And
one with the tail and
not
back.
again, never again. They're done, dusted, never again. I found that I'm a more of a wearable. I like making
Uh-huh.
socks, sweaters,
Something you can
hats.
use.
Yes, and that. So yeah. So that's what I found, that I'm bougie yarn. I'm in love with bougie yarn, especially finger weight.
Now, every time you say finger weight, you're gonna think of me and say fancy.
Fancy. I'm
Every time.
fancy. Okay, has anybody else got any last minute question to ask Alicia before we head out of here? I want to thank each and every one of you who's arrived today. Hello, Lisa. And there's lots of people here that have joined us that I've not said hello to. So I'm saying an all round hello, everybody. And thank you for joining us today. Hobie. Have you ever ordered from Hobie?
Yeah. I never know. I don't know if to call them Hobie or Hobby. Which one is it? I love them. Their yarn is beautiful.
I know Twister is my favorite. Hobie. It's called
Hobie.
Hobie.
Got it. When I make a video about it, I switch back and forth. I'm like hobby,
It
hobby, hobby,
doesn't matter.
hobby.
Well, everybody understands. Do you spin or dye, have you spun or dye yarn yet? No, that's something that doesn't really interest me either. But I'm in
interests me.
awe of people who do it, but it's not for
It
me.
interests me, but I know it'll just be another obsession I don't have room for. Like
Yeah,
I want to learn
me
how to
too.
spin, but I'm like, girl, you don't got time for that.
No,
So
yeah. Yeah, and Jeanette says, we appreciate all that you do for this community. Thank you, Alicia.
thank you, and you
Yeah.
too.
And
Actually,
I have to agree with Suzanne. Chunky yarns do 4-weight, 5-weight yarns. I don't enjoy working with them at all. They hurt my hand. I don't mind doing them with. I don't mind using 4-weight yarn for hats, but that's as far as I will. I mean, I just that jumper. Can you see that sweater there?
hanging.
Yeah, that's made with 4 or 5-weight yarn, and my hands were hurting me. And usually my hands don't hurt at all. Thank you, Angela, and thank you each and everybody for joining us today. I'm sorry about the trolls, but I don't care. They gave us a view, so that's one for me. So thank you, Alicia, for joining us today. I really do appreciate it. And if you wait on, and we'll have a little natter after the live's finished. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Now, don't forget, guys. Don't forget, guys, I'm not here next week, so I'll see you all on the 5th of October at my usual live. So take care, everybody. Stay safe, but more importantly, guys, as I always say, what do I always say, guys? Be kind to you. Bye for now, guys.